Hello, everyone. I am so sorry. We are having technical difficulties right now. So, I had to come on and let everyone know that I am having technical difficulties. So, if you can just stand by for a few minutes and see if we can continue with our guest. It's not on my side that we're having technical difficulties. She's on the phone with me, so you're probably hearing her on the phone with me. Uh, so it might be operator error. I don't know. But anyway, um, I wanted to welcome everyone on Fun Fresh Fridays. Yes, we're having fun because we're having technical difficulties. Yes. The stress level is this high. Um, but it's fresh. She's laughing at me on the phone. It's fresh and it's Friday. Um, Everything that went wrong is going wrong right about now. Um, but anyway, welcome to the third episode of Fun Fresh Fridays with Zanetta. It should be with Rhonda as well, but as you can see, um, but anyway, this is the third episode, and I want to thank you for those that are tuning in. And let me see, I have a message here. Hold on. I know these lives are just wonderful, aren't they? So the first two episodes are on my page. For those of you who have not um, join my page or like my page or follow me, please do. You'll have those two episodes there, and it's also on YouTube. So it's on Redefine Me YouTube, my YouTube channel. Right now it's pathetic, but I promise it will be better. It is also in LinkedIn. So for those of you that would, hold on, sending you now. Okay, so for those of you that would like to watch the replay on the other ones, then go ahead and go to YouTube and also LinkedIn, and also go to my page. So hold on, and let me get here. Let me get to Stefania. I know, bear with me, please. Okay, there we go. All right. So, speaking of YouTube, can you guys, I'm just asking, can you guys like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can actually do the URL? I know it's a shameful plug, but if you can do that, please, I would greatly appreciate it. So that is what's going on. I'm trying to stall, but it seems like we're still having technical difficulties. So on that note, you know, you know, so possibly we might go back and do this episode, because I wanted to really tackle on, lies and truths, the lies that we've been told, the different things that we realize that we have been lied to, and we bought it, got stocks, got a t-shirt, got a mug, everything, but then when we come to the realization that it was actually a lie. One of the things that I believed in was that I had to be, you know, good looking, great hair, great body, the 10 when Bo Derek, I know I'm dating myself. Some of you might not know who that is, or the movie 10. But that's what started the trend. That started the trend of, this is what a woman's supposed to be supposed to look like, how she's supposed to act, how she's supposed to do things. And so that is, let me see, Stefania. Oh, there she is. Awesome. Okay. Oh, I can't see your video. There you are, Stefania. Hello. I'm going to bring you on in. Here we go. Hello. Welcome. We're having.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. We're
Good.
supposed to have Rhonda.
Enolia. Oh,
No,
Rhonda.
not Enolia. Not Enolia.
Enolia.
So yeah, so next week is Enolia.
Oh, it's next week, Enolia. Oh, I thought we
Yeah.
were on together.
Yes, we are. We're supposed to have Rhonda with us, but she's having technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
But I
Okay.
think it's operator error. She's on
Operator.
the phone with me, still listening.
Oh. Come on, Rhonda. Come on. Join us.
I know. Yeah, so
Oh,
so we're work it, girl. So we're talking today about lies that has been told to us, and we believed it. And we were going to talk about what are some of the lies that you were told, and then you bought the T-shirt, bought the mug, you bought stocks, and I mean everything, and come to find out it was a lie. And I was just talking about how I don't know if you and because you're yeah I don't know if you're familiar with the movie 10 with Bo Derek, where that's where the rating started with women.
oh, being a
Rate,
okay.
yeah, rate the woman from 1 to 10. So that's where
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay.
that
Okay.
was the trend. So I thought that you had to be beautiful, beautiful skin, all made up, dolled up, have this, you know, what was it? 3624, 36 hourglass,
Yes.
but my hourglass is tipped over. I don't know about your hourglass, but
No,
my
but
hourglass.
there's all different sizes of hourglasses. That's the thing. We don't
Oh,
always get. If you ever
see?
seen the same type of hourglass, I mean, literally, have you? If you
Yeah,
go
but
out
you
and
still
shop,
have that tiny little thing that I mean,
uh,
isn't I don't have the size 3 waist, okay?
but really, is that normal? Like, really?
No, no,
No.
it
So
isn't.
it's not normal. I mean, I've seen. I can't remember what her name was. It was one of those shows where they showed this one particular woman who had so much plastic surgery, literally, and she had her
Oh,
ribs
yeah.
removed and her waist, I kid you not, was probably about that big, and she just looked deformed. I think it just didn't look natural because her boobs were out here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and her butt, she had everything. She had her butt, um, what are they called when they put butt
Implants.
cheeks, implants on her butt? Okay, having little things done, I don't think there's a problem. But when you start really, really like going in and totally transforming the body, and she was only something like 23 years old. She'd
Oh,
started at
wow.
like 18, and she had total face addiction. I think that's going too far. That's going
Yeah,
to.
and I think the culprit also is that people are buying into it.
Mm, mm,
They're buying into it, and
yeah.
you see so many models and so many actors and actresses that are starving themselves
Yes.
continue on, all these different things. So, I mean, the trend now is having, the very straightest, whitest teeth.
Yeah, yeah. You just like, I know. Mine are natural, by the way.
Ah,
I just I
how
just
I would
keep them
love to be
really,
like you.
but it's true. Some of them are just like too white. I mean, like white, unnaturally white, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
So that's the latest trend. I think I was looking at the eyebrows. I think I don't know what it's like over there in the States, but over here, everyone's
Oh,
having
yeah,
their
they have
eyebrows
those.
tattooed.
They
Yeah,
have
and they're
those.
like they're perfect on each side, but really, ideally, we're not perfect. Half
No,
of it is different to the other side. So
right.
trying to have something which is totally perfect, it actually takes away from the face. It takes away from the beauty. And all is here.
Oh,
Oh, Rhonda's here.
I am going to hang up on you. She is here. OMG.
Excellent. So Enolia is not coming.
No,
Enolia's
no,
not.
no. Yeah, Enolia's not coming. It will be next week. I was doing the announcement when you popped in, so I just went ahead, not to waste anybody's time. Just go ahead and start talking about what our topic is. Oh, you're muted. I told you it was operator error.
You got it?
I think she's getting it. Yeah, she's getting it. This is
It
the
is
beauty
tricky
of
because all platforms are different, aren't they? They're a little bit different where the
yeah.
mic are, and you just kind of got to get used to it. That's all.
Yes. Yeah.
Should be a pro in no time.
Yeah. Right. Uh, can you say something, Rhonda?
Her volume is still.
Is it on your laptop that it's on muted on your laptop? She's like, I don't know. Is the volume? Oh gosh.
Where is
Okay.
the volume?
Huh?
Where is? Oh, it's down the bottom. If she looks right down the bottom where you can see a little square of yourself,
Yeah.
at the bottom on the left, there's a little microphone. And it might have an arrow through it like that. And so if you tap on
Does
it,
it?
it'll unmute
No?
it.
Or on your laptop, I think it's I think it's F6. It should have the icon and then it has sometimes you mistakenly press it and you don't know that you pressed it.
Or try taking your earphones off. Take these off, unplug it, because sometimes that interferes. I know that interferes sometimes.
Yeah.
A shame.
So I'm gonna hide her a little bit for a minute or two. At least we are halfway there, right?
She's closer. She's closer.
Yeah. So I'll hear you. We'll hear you when you start to talk. And so yeah, we're in that society of so many things, so many lies that have been told to us. What are some of the lies that you have been told and found out that
Oh,
that
I could write a book on that.
oh oh let's do that. Let's
Oh,
do
we could.
that.
So
All
many
the lies
lies.
that we told.
So many lies. Well, I think I don't know, where do we start? Is it we're talking about females, how we're,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
conditioned to
Let's
think a certain
mhm,
way, to
yes.
act a certain way, to you know, be a certain way, particularly in relationships, since we're, and the good submissive wife.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about that. What is submissive?
What is submissive? Well,
Hmm.
everyone's got a different interpretation. But simply put, I think it's where you just, bow down and succumb to your partner's
Every
wants and
demand.
demands, control, um,
Ooh.
desires, needs, wants, and yeah, it's a form of control, really. And some women choose to be in that role because it's comfortable for them. They don't know any other way,
Hmm.
or it's convenient for them because there's an exchange of something in return,
Hmm.
or they may be afraid of changing that pattern or changing that sort of character in them, I guess, because if they start changing, they can be rocking the boat. Now, for some women that have been in that state of submissiveness and didn't know any better, whether it be because they didn't have any experience in other relationships prior to this relationship that holds them in a captive, sort of in a submissive way,
Hmm.
they they awaken, I guess. Some women awaken, some women say, well, what's all this about? and talking to others, talking to other women, social media. There's so much information out there that's being regurgitated, that someone that is probably acting out the role of being a submissive partner, wife,
Mm-hmm.
or even man, in that case, it's not only the women, they're awakening, and they know that they're not feeling right playing out this role of being submissive, because it's been a lie, particularly to women, to be the conforming wife, the submissive wife, the wife that says yes to everything, the wife that's always happy, the wife that just has to raise the children and not speak, not question, not get involved. There's a large range of things we could go on.
Yeah.
So I think it plays out to be culture for some people,
Mm-hmm.
because that's how they were brought up, that's how they saw their mothers. So they'll usually role play what they've seen in their, as a family, you know functioning family. To them, it's normal functioning.
Mm-hmm.
And for others, it may be because they're afraid. They think
Mm.
found the one. There might be, as I said, an exchange. It might be an exchange of security. This
Mm.
man is giving me security, so I have to be submissive to what he is providing for me. So I've got to be submissive to everything that he wants.
Wow. I'm gonna see if Rhonda can. Are you able to? Mm. Mm-mm. we we can't hear you. So there's a cogwheel. There should be a cogwheel above your name. There's a cogwheel, and if you click that, it should tell you about your audio and how to use your audio. That's how it should, we'll see if that works. Yeah, no, there's no. Um, did you raise up the volume? She said she did. I can read lips. Okay, so let me see. Maybe if you come out and then come back in.
Yeah, maybe that might
Yeah.
work.
Uh, come out, yeah. Exit the show and then come back in. That hopefully that will fix whatever the issue is. Yeah. So when we speak about the because last time we talked about roles, the boundaries, um, when it was really great how Enoya had said that we put on those roles, and those roles that we put on. Uh-oh, do I hear something? Oh, yes. Yes, we can hear. Can you
Okay,
hear?
perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay! We can hear.
Hi. Beep.
Welcome
Okay.
to the show.
Yeah, this was a hard fought battle.
You're
Yeah,
meant to be here, Rhonda. You're
very
meant
hard
to be
fought
here.
battle.
We can hear some
Yes.
background. We can hear some background.
Um, now
TV.
the audio went away for you.
Uh-oh. Oh, we
Hmm.
can hear you clearly.
Oh, now you're back.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. I can hear audio on the back, the TV, I think at least.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So we were
All
talking
right.
about the roles that we put on and that we need to totally take off. So how how do we transition from knowing it's a lie and then because we put on that role, we put on that role of submissive, put on that role, um, this is how you're supposed to act, or put on that
Mm-hmm.
role that you must look like this. Um, How do we do that? How do we transition into that? Because I know that it attributes to a whole lot of low self-esteem. It attributes to a lot of depression. It attributes to a lot of, mental anguish and emotional anguish. Fitting in or trying to prove your. How do we do that, ladies?
So the first thing is you have to be okay with, um, especially if everyone around you has bought into it. You have to be okay being by yourself
Mm,
because you will instantly be isolated. What do you mean that's not okay? What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to just turn your brain off, right? What do you mean? Because that's that seems to be acceptable culturally. If you whatever religious background, just among women of our age group, that's accepted. Like it's the norm. Like how dare you kick against it? Like there's something wrong with you, right?
mm.
You have to be okay with it's not okay for you. And
So,
then,
so when you say
but
you
before you get there, though, you
oh,
have to
okay,
start thinking about you. Yeah, because you can't say it's not okay for you first, because then
okay,
your first thing is, what do I really think? What do I really need? Am I getting what I need? Does what I need matter to anybody besides me? And if
hmm.
it doesn't, are you willing to give it to yourself first before you make a stand? That's got to go on in your mind. Like, is it okay for me to give me what I need? Sometimes what happens is we're looking for everybody else to validate what we need or agree that we need it and not be okay needing it alone. You go there first because you most likely will be isolated when you do make your stand. So if you don't do that one first, you're not going to be able to do the rest of the steps to come out of isolation, come out of depression, to come out of low self-esteem, to come out of you lost your identity along the way.
Hmm.
You can't do it. And you and I've had this conversation many, 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 many times. Um, I just recently got there, but it's crazy. I think that's the craziest thing to say that some person has to give up their thought life, their hopes and desires to then mail to someone else's, and that's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Yeah,
It's not okay.
that is such. I mean, when you said you need to be prepared to be alone, that
Mm-hmm.
that is because everybody else around you has bought into this, and
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
because everybody else is so used to you being
Mm-hmm.
the old you, and then here
Mm-hmm.
you are, you're coming into the newness, into your own. Um, because before I used to be, very quiet. I used to not say a bunch of stuff. I used to just, the submissive, you know,
Right.
the dutiful wife, um,
Mm-hmm.
the lady, because the lady, when they speak loud, they're obnoxious or they're whatever other labels they have in different cultures, but it's always a negative. It's always a negative connotation
Mm-hmm.
to it. Um, so, but now when I speak my mind, as you can tell,
Right.
yeah. So,
And you know what? The world is not going to stop because we did. It isn't. The world's not going to stop. The house is not going to explode. It's not going to implode. People are not going to run away screaming. she
mhm,
thought she said
mhm,
her mind. They're
yeah,
not. But what happens is we're not accustomed to our own voice. So we're
Oh,
afraid of our own voice.
oh, oh.
And so you ever notice, I noticed this. Um, Before, I didn't have such a husky voice. My voice was light. It was kind of up here a little bit. It was higher.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that's not assertive. That's not really showing up. The minute my voice changed, um, people were taken aback. It's like, wait, what? It was not always. It wasn't always this because I was afraid to show up. I was afraid to speak my mind. I was afraid to be who I am. And when I realized that was okay, and I might get isolated or ostracized for being myself, and that was still okay. Um, I say what I think,
Mm.
and I say what I want, and I don't need a cosigner. You don't have to agree with what I want or what I need or what I think.
So,
Woo!
so Stefania, I, Stefania,
Yeah.
I wanna, I
Vanessa,
wanna tackle, I wanna,
Vanessa.
I wanna tackle on that. Because you coach men,
Mm,
and what Rhonda just said, she said you're not accustomed to your own voice. Um, and I mean, just that just kind of, opened up a whole bunch of other questions in my mind. Oh gosh, if you're not accustomed to your own voice, how is it that being a female voice would a male do?
repeat that last bit. What?
Hmm.
Not being
How
accustomed to
would,
your own voice. How would?
yes, how would a female, you know, speak or coach a man and have the male listen to a female's voice or listen to um you know, so basically what I'm trying to kind of get into the forefront is
Yeah, I
our
understand what you're trying
voice
to say.
our voice has authority,
Mm,
Mhm.
but it depends on the gender. On, so if a woman tells a woman one thing, oh, we'll listen. But if a man tells a woman something, we're like, we're gonna scrutinize it. We're gonna, I'm like, okay. But
mm,
if a woman tells a man something,
mm.
it's like it's not the norm. It's not the culture. It's going against, what's taught.
So,
So how do you do that? How do you
okay.
how do
So
you
that's a really interesting topic and the way you've put it. And I would just add to what Rhonda said. It, she says it's the voice, but I would go a little bit further to say that it's not just the voice, it's also the energy that comes with that voice. So, you can have a submissive voice, but you can have that energy behind it that can really move mountains. That not submissive voice, that soft voice, I should say,
soft voice? Yeah.
that sweet, sweet voice, but it can still move mountains. Or you can have that husky voice, and you're bringing that love energy behind that husky voice, and it can still move mountains. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not so much, being able to have the voice. It's the energy that comes with that. It's the energy that comes with that. Now you can, you know, and I say that from my point of view because I do coach men, and yes, I do run into that very you know topic you're talking about, Zanetta, where if I come across like I know it all, or I come across with this real hierarchy, tone or attitude behind that voice, they're just going to blow me off. It's like, who do you think
Mhm.
you are? Whereas I I come from a place of love. My purpose and my real, mission as to how, I can really be of service and help to these men is from a place of love, not from a place of authority, not from a place that I know it all. It's from a place of let me share with you how we women feel, and how you think we feel or what you think we want may not always necessarily be so.
So, so how do you come across that? I mean, I know we've talked. I know we've talked. With men that
Mm.
kind of are. Let me just say it. They're jerks.
I
Yeah.
lost audio.
What's that, Rhonda?
I cannot hear you.
Oh,
Oh no.
must be something with her computer then.
Yeah, it must be the audio. So, try to work that out.
Keep fiddling around, Rhonda. Keep fiddling around with it. But that question you just asked me, Zanetta, just
Yeah.
quickly wanted to say I got a text message this morning,
Hmm.
on a post that I put up about, I'm not sure if you saw it. This is what women find irresistible in a man. And I won't mention names, but there was a comment in that saying, "Oh, irresistible, what women want, that's a joke." Like, as if like it doesn't exist. And I don't know what he really means by that. I'm yet to find out. But I knew with the kind of tone and the way he wrote it, it's meaning like, what do women know? And I guess coming from me as a woman, well, yeah, we know what we find irresistible in a man, right?
Right.
I don't know about, the majority of women, but I know you do. I know I do. We all do have different tastes, but, the values, the personality traits. This is what I was speaking about in this video. What are the personality traits that women find in general? I
Hmm.
gave about 5 personality traits, which aren't all of them. But see how sometimes that can be misinterpreted. And I have had some smart comments from this one person before. So he's pretty, I think I'd say he's, doesn't take women very well or has had some kind of hiccup or trauma. I understand that. I understand that. So how do I respond to something like that? Well, I can just, lovingly say, well, what do you mean? Please share. Or just ignore it. But I know when people put out remarks like that, it's usually because they're hurting and they'll intentionally go out and hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. We know that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that he's actually engaging with you.
Yeah.
That means he needs something. So
Yes.
we just lost Rhonda. So hopefully she'll come back on. Um, and hold on. Yeah, so I just told her that we'll wait for her if she's able to come back.
But she has a very valid point. Rhonda has a really
Yeah,
valid point,
yeah,
finding that voice, finding the real you, the real, what's bursting to come out, to be that person, whether it be woman or man, to come
mhm,
out, be yourself
yeah,
with love. I always reiterate, do it with love, do it with compassion, because not everyone's going to be at the same level as you. Not everyone's going to understand you.
right.
And if you are going to move forward and transition and evolve and have this beautiful awakening, don't expect that everyone's going to understand you.
Yes,
Don't
yeah,
expect everyone's going to join you.
hmm,
You
yeah,
know, and I'll share something even with myself, since I've been moving forward and doing what I'm doing and really, trying to shine as much love as possible on what I do in every which way that I, do it. And even in my own life, some people can't handle it.
yeah,
They can't handle it. And I've had people say, I can't work with you. I can't, it's just, it's just too much. So I that's left me perturbed. That's really left me like puzzled, and I really thought about that and really reflected. And it's not about me; it's about them. And at least they've come to a realizing that they may need. And I welcome people, but if they're not ready and they don't want to be around, well, what can you do? There's nothing you can do.
So here's and I see Rhonda. I think she's, if you can talk just a little bit, maybe I could maybe possibly hear you, or you can hear us, then we'll bring you back on the stage. But here's the the things that's going through my mind, the lies that has been told and has been perpetuated, passed down from generation to generation, especially with us women, how we're supposed to carry ourselves. You know, if you're, like with Rhonda, with her voice. She said she has a husky voice. You must be masculine. You have to have this sweet sounding. I actually call her. I actually told her that she has a sultry voice.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful voice.
She has a sultry voice. She does.
I've been told I have a teacher's voice, like,
Yeah.
this teacher's, but that's because I've also taught most of my life as well. I have been a teacher, so that's going to, transpire in the way that I present myself, but I don't do it with authority, or that's not my intention. It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
It's my energy that I bring. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like, um, because when you finally, they tell us to find our voice, right? They tell us to, speak up or speak your truth. But when we do, we're crucified. You know, Women, I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're thinking. But then when we do, oh, you're not submissive. Oh, you're not, so it's a dilemma. Um, are you able to talk, Rhonda? Can you hear us? We cannot hear. No, I can't hear you. I do not hear you. I can hear, I can see your lips moving, but I don't hear any audio. Yeah. So it's a dilemma. And then when we do speak up, then we're told, oh no, this is what you're supposed to do. Yes? Is that you, Rhonda? Nope, it's still no, okay. So and then we're told, no, you're supposed to be this, and this, and this. And this is how you're supposed to do it, and that's what you're supposed to do. So it- so and I'm because there's this one video that I saw that targeted my culture, the Asians, and it was said that we are trying to copy a certain culture, certain race. I'm not going to mention the culture or the race. Um, and it was said that, oh yeah, but they're copying us. They have they start to have the lips and the booty and, the nails and the makeup. And then the host said, well, how come they're married and you're not? So it kind of like, what? what does the what does the makeup, what does the hair, what does the booty, or all of these exterior stuff have to do with anything? And then also, I was questioning whether, okay, so Mr. How come she's married and you're not? Uh, Pretty much saying that Asians are submissive. And that's why she's married.
Mm.
So, and there's nothing said about love. Nothing. Not a drop, not a conversation about love. Everything is exterior. Everything that on that topic, everything was exterior, nothing about the interior, nothing about the character of the individual. You have to be size, what is it, size 4, at least 120 pounds. It depends on your height as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, depends on your height. If you're 5 foot, then you need to be in the lower hundreds. But if you're, 5'6", 5'7", you need to be in the 120s. Kind of, what about character? What about morals? What about uh, um, you know, uh,
So the question is, who are these type of people? What
yeah,
what are their values?
yeah,
So what are their values? If they're just into makeup and lips and makeup and the way they look and aesthetically, physicals, high fizzers, I call them. Well, they're attracting that person that is into that. So they're actually a good fit. Because, someone that's not into that is not going to be interested in all that aesthetic stuff.
yeah. I mean,
So
it
they
becomes
might
so
be married. They might be married, Zanetta, but who with?
exactly who with and how long, or
And
do
how
they
long?
really know their relationship? If they have a happy relationship,
Right, right.
I
Let me
was married.
yeah, I'll
Yeah, I was
share a
married for
story.
23 years, and
Right. Yeah.
you see where I'm at today.
Right. Let me share with you a story. And these are clients that I'm actually seeing. I'm seeing the husband and wife, but separately. And
Mhm.
I've been working with them on their own journeys. Okay. Not so much about their marriage, a little bit, but not a lot. It's mainly working on them with them individually for their own journey to better themselves, to be the best versions of themselves. So when they come together, they just have a fantastic relationship. And I've been working with them for, like 2 to 3 months now.
Mhm.
And it was really interesting. The last session that we had, she actually said, you know, and they've been together about 12, 14 years now. And she admitted that her relationship, how she got together with him, was purely physical. She was physically attracted. They were physically attracted to each other. And it was only afterwards, obviously, when, I guess the honeymoon period's over, or all that, physical interaction sort of dulls down a little bit, that they did everything. She said, we've done everything the opposite, where we're now really working on ourselves and working on the relationship and really understanding why we're together. And they've really, had a rough ride, but the amazing thing is they're both on that same journey now of, evolving, developing themselves, being the better versions of themselves for themselves first. And then when they come together, they are just like amazing together. So it can work,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
talks about how she was just, he was a hottie. He was like, muscles, tattoos, and he looked great. And uh, he was a bad boy and she was attracted to bad boys.
Mm.
But this bad boy has turned good boy, so to speak. And it was through his transformation and journey that had, motivated her to then take a look at herself, to then
Mm.
say, well, hang on a minute. Am I just going to watch this, or am I just going to get involved and do something? Now, I know this is off the topic of being submissive and everything like that, but yeah, part of her journey was being that quiet type person, that's submissive. But now she is communicating, because before she was too afraid of what he thought, of what his opinions were. And if she did speak, was she going to rock the boat?
Mm. So it's still in the topic of what we're talking about, because it's the lie. It's a lie. We're I don't know where we got the I think as a kid also, I love the bad boys.
I think we all do.
Oh,
All do.
she logged off. I was hearing her. Why did she log off? I could see you and hear. Oops. The bad boy persona, because we were raised, oh, you need a good man, all of this, but then because of rebelliousness, I think that's why we gravitate. I'm going to say me gravitate toward the bad boy. So just that, just that, because of what we think, or what we were put through, or what was put on us or in us that we're supposed to do. We tend to go the opposite. So how did you? So you said husband and wife. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Because usually a husband and wife really don't get coached, either one or the other. Yeah, and then when one finds, okay, maybe if the husband is being coached, and then the transformation comes, and the wife will follow. It has always that dynamic, oh, I noticed a change, what's going on, okay, what are you doing, kind of kind of thing. But when the wife changes, and like, what are you doing, I didn't marry you, I didn't marry this, you
Yeah.
know kind of, instead of embracing the woman, or the spouse blossoming into her own,
Yeah.
and like what I said earlier, the love portion is not even talked about. Unconditional love, it's that unconditional love. Oh, because we all change,
Yes.
we
Yes.
all grow,
Yeah.
we all mature. um my 25-year-old self wouldn't be able to talk like this.
I even looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we all mature. So we all change. So to embrace that is kind of missing.
Mm. And I
Um,
congratulate him on this couple, because
mhm,
he has really embraced it. And he was the one that actually encouraged her to come and see me as well. He really said, I think this will be really good for her. But see, he had worked on himself, and that's why he's embracing the changes in her,
mhm,
not only mentally and emotionally, but physically. She's a stunning woman, and she's lost weight, and she's looking wow. Like, yeah, when I saw her last, I said, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You just," and that for some men that haven't done the work,
mhm.
quite intimidating, threatening, that their woman is starting to blossom, their woman is starting to look wow.
Mm.
And that's why I always say, doesn't matter either male or female, but, men really get with it. Understand that if your woman is changing, particularly for the better, and she's looking amazing, don't keep her squashed. Thrive in that, embrace that, because she's only going to, love up on you even more. It's only when you start neglecting her. She's back.
Oh gosh, we can't hear you. I thought I heard you. No, no. Yeah, I can.
We can lip read. We can lip read you, Rhonda.
She's again. Yeah, we can't hear you.
What about if she puts her phone on?
Yeah,
Is she on the laptop or the phone?
she's on the laptop. I think there's like a 10-second, 20-second delay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the actual phone. So, but I can
Or just
actually
a normal number, even on the phone, just not on FaceTime. Tell her to call on your
yeah.
number.
I'm about to call her right now.
Because we can make this work, Rhonda. We want to hear your
Right.
voice.
We're gonna make this work.
She can hear us. Right?
Answer the phone. I can see you.
But she'll have to mute her microphone.
I
That
will
way
mute
she
her.
doesn't.
I'll mute her microphone. I was gonna say, look, I can hear you. I can see you. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Can you hear Stefania?
Yeah, I can hear. I think that'll work.
Okay.
So at least we can hear her voice.
We'll do it this way?
Yeah. Look, we will make it work.
Well, it's definitely working.
Well, why do you sound different now? Usually when I talk to you, it's kind of clear on the phone. Huh? No, it's kind of staticky.
Too much electricity.
Okay, I'll need to use earbud because my speakerphone is not clear.
Yeah. Use ear. Yes.
Probably be better.
Okay, how's that?
Woo, perfect. Can you hear Stefania?
Yes, I can. See?
Awesome. See, we'll make this work. See, why'd you hang up on me?
What's happening now? She hung up on you?
She hung up on me. Okay, here we go. All right.
Work.
See. That's why I told you it's operator error.
Careful.
You know I love you.
Hi, Stefania. We've never actually met.
No.
So my name is Ron. Very nice to meet you.
Yes, likewise. I Rhonda that was messaging last time I was on.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Yeah, you had some great comments that you'd put on. So I'm glad you're on. I'm glad you've joined us.
I am too. This was supposed to because I've had such a hard time. So I took that to mean that I really was supposed to be engaged in this conversation. Because I've been having trouble since 6:30 Central. it's a little after 8. So
Yeah.
Central. So.
Yeah, we've been having issues. So I said, she's like, well, what we can do? No, we're gonna press on.
Right. Good. Well,
It gives me a hard time all the time, but I appreciate it because it helps me not stay in one place. I'll say it. She's always, okay, where are you? What are you doing?
Yes.
What are you doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So where are you? You're not in Virginia. Are you? No.
No, I'm in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Chicago.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes.
I've never been to Chicago. One place I haven't been. I've been many places through the States, but not Chicago.
It's beautiful in the springtime.
It's beautiful in the springtime. Yeah. So I lived here briefly
What about
during
the
the winter.
fall? The fall would
It's
be no, it's cold in the fall. Very cold.
Yes,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's very cold.
very
The winters are cold.
The winters would be worse. Yeah, I can imagine.
bitter cold. Not just cold, bitter.
I don't think I
Yeah,
could.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy over there. I lived there for I think a year.
Was it a
And
year?
whew,
I don't think it was a year.
no, it was. I think was it 6 months?
That's 6 months.
Yeah, that's where we met. We met.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met.
We actually met on the phone.
Yes, on the phone first, and then we met personal. Yeah, in person. Yeah, yeah.
So what do you do? What does Rhonda do?
Oh, do tell, Rhonda.
Well, I work at the VA as an inventory manager for surgery. So I buy all of their surgical supplies.
Okay.
So it's a combination. I started off as in healthcare. So I did that whole healthcare bedside care and then went to inventory management. So kind of blending. It's working.
Now, Rhonda is very modest. She used to host. I don't know if she still does it, but I do know that she used to host a podcast, a radio show as well, in finances, right?
It was finance.
Yeah.
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 So I co-host a show called Finances on the Dime, and I was the co-host. And then I hosted my own show, which was called Let's Talk About It. So it was similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on iHeartRadio, so it's an internet radio show. Yes, iHeartRadio.
So iHeartRadio is everywhere here in the US, and they're very popular here in the US. So when she says, "Oh, I'm just this," no, she's so modest.
You don't do it anymore, Rhonda? Do you still do it?
I don't.
Do tell why.
My host and co-host got pregnant right in the middle of doing the broadcast, and she has 5 children. So she's like, I can't. I'll have a child hanging off my leg, trying to be in the studio. So she said I have to give it up for a while, and then we've been trying to find a niche to get back on the same broadcasting medium, because it's an audio visual, like this is audio visual. So it helps 2 ways. You can engage 2 ways. So looking forward to it, actually. Absolutely loved it.
Pushing. Yeah, so that's Rhonda. Just she's very modest. She doesn't talk about it. Only I know about it. But it seems like she doesn't push it, press it, put it off the press, broadcast it. She doesn't. She just and she's very, very, very intelligent.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You can tell. And do you find men are intimidated by your intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do tell, Rhonda.
So how do you handle that, Rhonda? I should have you on one of my shows, because I'm starting a show soon.
It depends on the location. So if it's work, I have a very strong centered male counterpart that works in my office with me, so I don't have to. Oh, I almost said dumb down. I almost said dumb down, but no, I don't have to dumb down. Because he's secure in his masculinity, so I can, be who I am around him. Depends on where I am. So work, that's work. Other locations, that thing you have to let the man think he came up with the idea is, I'm just saying. Sometimes. And then if I'm really passionate about it, I really don't care if they're intimidated. I just say what I say. And, over time, they accept what I say. And I don't have to change how I say it. Sometimes it's like, oh, you said such and such, but your tone. Well, they never tell a man about a tone. Why do I have to fix a tone? Right? What conversation are you in? Oh, your tone is not good. What? No, so I don't. It depends on the location, though.
So do you, as a result, Rhonda, can I ask you, so then do you change your tone according to your location?
I don't. What I do is change how much I say. So I keep the same tone, but I don't say as much.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah, I was going to say why.
Why do you, what makes you say less with certain, depending on who the audience is?
It's really more for me.
More for her.
I say what I say to test the water.
Oh,
just saying. I'm testing the water. If I don't get a kickback, then I'll continue. If I do get a kickback, if you want to know what I said, then you have to engage me. What I'm talking about, then you have to engage me. If you don't want to know what I'm talking about, then I don't continue. But it's a test of water. You get, interesting. And especially in an environment where you deal with a lot of money and you deal with a lot of high-powered CEOs of companies and different things, which I do. Those interactions, I just say what I say. And, sometimes I'm considered the subject matter expert. So I say what I'm saying, and it's a yay or nay. And if I say yes or no on something, that's what it is. So so it's a very interesting dynamic that I kind of walk through.
That's kind of interesting. So, when you said that your counterpart, your male counterpart, because I'm taking notes, you said he was secure in his masculinity. That's why you can be yourself.
Yeah.
How do you recognize when a man is secure in his masculinity?
Primarily they don't overtalk you. It's a subtle cue. When you're talking and they're secure in themselves, they don't overtalk you while you're talking. They allow you to complete your thought. If they're insecure or they feel like you're smarter, they instantly want to stop you.
Wow.
It's very subtle, but that's what I've seen.
And she's right. I can agree with that.
She's a SME because she coaches men, so she.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's right. That's
it's like,
exactly what they do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I guess like the barking dog, the one that really just makes all that noise. It's just because he's so fearful and intimidated and he's got to protect himself, whereas the real dog will just bite you, and that's it. Do his thing, and
Right.
off he goes. He
Right.
doesn't have to put on the show.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well. So, before you got cut out and all of this other stuff, I really want to um, hone in on the not accustomed to your own voice.
Oh, okay.
Um, because I want this show to be able to help those women or men to be able to be themselves. Because so when you said you're not accustomed to your own voice, uh, sometimes when I go back to lives, or I'll go back to my different videos that I videotape myself and not really put it on Broad Street because I'm so intimidated, or I still have that shyness, I still have that kind of thing. So I'll go back and listen to it, and I'm like, wow, I said that, kind of thing. Or I'll hear certain people say, wow, Zanetta, that's a good way of putting it. I never thought about it that way. And so in my mind, I'm like, but that's just normal for me. Kind of. That's how my brain works. That's how, but when you said you need to be accustomed to your own voice, that really struck me because even though I work for a living speaking, even my 9 to 5 job, that's I ask questions all day. That's all I do. That's why I love doing this. um I ask questions all day, and I try to put their answer into a professional kind of sentence, but not to lose their point. And they would come back and say, wow, that's really great. So but when you said that, it hit me like, wow, I am not accustomed to my own voice. I am being so transparent right about now. I'm like, what? So let's talk about that. Stefania, I would like for you to follow with that as well. Um, so when you said you're not accustomed to your own voice, so that tells me that you are now accustomed to your own voice. Would that be correct? Okay.
Yeah.
How did you? I know people say, well, find your voice. I mean, you have your voice. You didn't lose it. You're just not accustomed to it. Would that be a correct assessment?
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say because we look on the outside of ourselves all the time. We look for validation from parents and siblings and spouses and work and coworkers and bosses and all of that. And we're looking for validation externally. When you stop doing that and you say you're okay where you are, and you know you're okay, and you have something to offer, and what you say and how you say it is valid, and you don't need a cosigner for it, then you found your voice. As long as you're waiting for somebody else to validate you, you won't find your voice.
See, and hear me correctly. when I say I don't care what anybody thinks, I really don't. But it's just I don't look for validation. I don't, it's just that my husband was talking to me today, and we were watching this show, and the buyers are the husband is a personal coach, a professional life coach. He's a life coach, and she is also some kind of motivational speaker or something like that. My husband looked at me and he said, if they could do it and they're on this show and they're buying this, he said, you just need to be comfortable with you. He said, you just need to realize that you're this and you're this and you're this. And I was like, would you stop saying that? Because I didn't want to hear it, because I don't need the validation. I just struggle to, I guess, accept maybe Stefania, Rhonda. Maybe is that what it is? Maybe I'm just, because this is just how I think.
Except from who? Except from who, Zanetta?
What do you mean?
Okay, you said, oh, sorry, Rhonda, were you about to say something? I didn't mean
I was going to say it's about confidence. It's about confidence. Are you, yeah, I'm on a line. Thank you, though.
What'd you say?
She said, yeah. She said, yeah, I'm on a line, but thank you, though. Whatever he's offering, please offer it to me, because I'll say yes. If it's food, offer it to me. No, like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's confidence. It's confidence. I was in a choir a very long time, and I was always a background singer. I never sang any solos ever. So one of the he's a tenor, so he's a professional singer. Like, he was in New York, and he sang on Broadway. He's a professional singer, but he's in a church choir. And I asked him to help me with vocal training. Could you coach me and whatever? He said no. I said, what you mean no? Just asked you to help me, sing. He said, no, you don't need me to teach you to sing. You need confidence.
You know what? Now that okay, I get it. Because I was told for so long that I couldn't hold a tune even if it was taped to my hands. All the time. Oh, she can't sing. Oh, she can't hold a tune. Oh, you can't hold a tune. And so when, of course, we're in church, and we're singing, and then one of the leads said, I really like how you harmonize with me. And I'm like, what? That's why I sing in the background. So and so there's this app that my classmates are using. It's called Star Maker.
Star Maker.
Yeah, Star Maker. And what you do is you sing. You pick the song and you sing. You can do duets. And I actually sang for the first time Lady Gaga's Shallow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And don't you know, I wound up getting a lot of views, a lot of likes, and I was on rank 1. And I was like, what? Really? Who are these people listening? Who are these people? So I would listen to them and I'm like, wow, she has a voice. Oh my gosh, she has a great voice. He has a great voice. Now they want to do collabs with me.
Wow. See?
So that talk, I'm like, okay, so is it because confidence is
One
I
part
mean,
of
I
it.
can do it. I mean, I think I have confidence. Don't you think so, Tanya?
Okay, can I answer this? Because I'm just like busting here.
Yes,
Answer. Confidence is part of it. Yes, I totally agree. But how do you cultivate this confidence? That's the secret.
Oh, do tell. Because now you have my attention.
Okay.
Go ahead. Because I'm saying I think I have confidence.
Yeah, you do. We all have. We're born with it, and we can step into it. But how do we cultivate it? So the thing is, we know we need to get to confidence, but how do we get to confidence? And it's very easy. It's part of loving you, part of loving yourself, acknowledging. You see, and a lot of things you said, Zanetta, was like, everyone sees you've got this great voice. Everyone compliments you've got this great voice, but you can't see it. So the resistance is you accepting
The lie.
That's right. Whoever told you maybe you didn't have a very good voice. Did someone ever say that to you as a child?
For 23 years, I was told that.
Amen. There's your answer.
Do you connect the dots? Do you connect the dots, Rhonda?
Who's the teller? Yeah, I can. But it's also who's telling it? Who's saying it?
Well,
It wouldn't matter if the person or person saying it weren't connected to you in some way. It wouldn't matter.
It's the past, I would imagine, isn't it?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that part of you needs healing. That part of it, we need to change that story, Zanette.
Yeah, yeah.
We really need to change that story. And there's a bit of letting go there that needs to be done. But start loving that part of you. And it's very simple. You know what? I actually love my voice. I love listening to my voice. I have a great voice. And just listen. I'll tell you a story about me with my voice, okay? And I had a very similar experience. And when I was doing my videos, and I've done a lot of videos, and in the beginning, I used to hate my voice. I used to do a video about 10, 15 times before I felt that it was okay. I'm not talking once, twice, 3 times. I'm talking about
I know what you mean.
erase it. Oh my God, I can't stand that. Oh my God, I wasn't even looking good in that, And yet it was because I wasn't accepting my voice. Everyone else was accepting my voice, but there was another voice that was in my ear because I had been told that I should be ashamed and keep my mouth shut.
Mm.
And that you're a joke.
Mm.
What you say is a joke. How you say, you don't even know how to speak. Go and get public speaking courses.
Oh.
Do you know? So can you imagine? I would literally get in front of the camera and I would literally not only hear these voices, but I would see images.
Oh, wow.
So for me, it was a big battle. So what I did, just like I'm telling you, I started telling myself I had a wonderful voice. I love hearing my voice. I love the way I speak. People love hearing my voice. I have a beautiful voice. And then I would watch my videos over and over and over and over. And so I would say I have fallen in love with myself, or my own voice particularly. I have fallen in love with my voice again.
I love your voice. I love your voice.
But
your voice is soothing.
Thank you. But see, just as mine's soothing, so's yours, Zanetta. And it's that voice. I mean, you had 23 years of this. I had X amount of years of it, right? But it doesn't matter. It's a wound. It's like a knife that cuts, and they say words cut like a knife.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be slapped than being told to hear that or spoken to like that. Well, yeah, because words are they're hypnotic. I know because through hypnosis, that's what it is. You can use words in a very good way, or you can use them in a very negative way. And when we're, doing hypnosis, it's just message units going into the brain. So if you've had these message units, being told to you for so many years, can you imagine what's in there?
Right. Right.
I told. If I could add to that, I'm sorry. If I could add,
yeah.
Words create, and they create things. They create thoughts. They create perception. And when you get a word over and over again, and you don't counter the word with a thought, then it's planted, and then it grows. And then it becomes this thing that is not you, but you accept as you, because you never counteracted the word. It grows up. It's not just, it's a word and it hurt. No, it grows into something. And if you don't go in there and get it, I'm going to use garden. If you don't pull it up, it's a weed you have to pull up because there's so much attached to it.
And it'll
So
affect the
let's
other
think
the other
about-
thoughts in there as well, Rhonda, right? It'll affect the other, like other weeds grow other weeds. It'll just, before you know it, you've got
Right.
a garden full of weeds.
Right. And still I'm going to use gardening. If you don't pull the weeds up, it's going to choke the good stuff.
Right.
You have to pull it up. You have to get it at the root and pull it up from the root. Don't cut it off at the top because it's going to grow back. I'm still using plants. And you got to go reach in there and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about the roots that's wrapped around it. Sometimes the good stuff roots wrap around the weed roots. So you can't identify what's good and what's not. Sometimes you have to pull it up and then separate it, then replant the good.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thought pattern. And that's where hypnosis comes in. And I'll give you some sessions on that. Don't worry, we'll fix that problem. You don't have a confidence problem at all. We will clean that mind up, the subconscious mind,
Yes.
squeaky clean. Because like Rhonda said, you don't have a problem. Okay, you've got the confidence. You wouldn't be on this show putting this together if
Right.
you didn't have confidence.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. That is so true. I think it's the you know how okay, so when I was back in the Philippines, I was kind of forced into I was told because I'm the child. Parent tells me what to do. Such a concept. Such a concept. You're supposed to listen to your parents. So I was thrusted into movie industry, the modeling industry, the entertainment industry. Some not so good, some good. This is a show where everybody can watch, so I can't say some of this stuff. But I would transform as soon as I step on the stage, or as soon as the director says, action. I just transform into this total different person. And even when I do the catwalk, I just transform this total different person. But as soon as I step off the stage, I go back to the abuse, the emotionally, uh, just mentally, emotionally, and physically abused and torn, because I get to be somebody else. So, during these lives, I think I turn into that other person, or that other personality, but I see myself, actually myself, not, this on this alter ego that I call myself Shaniqua.
Is that your
Somebody
stage
called
name?
me that. Somebody called me that. They were like, "Oh, Shaniqua came on." I was like, "What?"
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not that person. I don't turn into that person or that personality or that alter ego. I'm still me, but that transformation, that change still comes about. I was shaking like a leaf before I go on live, but when then I come on, I'm like, "Oh, this is easy. I've done this
Easy.
before a million times." I make it look easy, but not really. Before and after, mess. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, mess.
No, we had full content control over both shows,
Mhm.
and sometimes we didn't have anything. Like, we're going to go on, had nothing, and we'd sit there and start talking, and an hour later we would have done a whole show. Sometimes the fear is, am I going to fail? Even though you know you can do it, are you going to fail? So then it's like, what are you depending on? Are you dependent on the real you that can handle it? Or all this other things that everybody else has said about you that's not real? And after doing those shows, I drill down past all of everybody's voices. because we were doing shows like we had not done a script. We had people we were interviewing without a script. Current events, finances, whatever it was. We didn't have a script. We were just engage the guest, and then we had good rapport between the two of us. So it was a conversation, and then we engaged the guest, and that was an hour show. Sometimes it's are you comfortable? Maybe not comfortable. Are you okay with the uncertainty of it?
Okay.
There's an unknown every time you do a show.
That is true. Like today.
Yes, like today.
Like today.
Right.
Like today. Yeah. I mean, I think I thrive, and that's a good word to I think use. I think I thrive off of any kind of misstep, or any kind of things change, all of a sudden, any kind of emergency, any kind of not expecting to happen. I think I thrive off of that because I was in constant survival mode as a child, growing up, and then onto my adulthood. So I thrive in emergency settings. So even though I was, sweating it like before, but I knew to go on and move on. I knew to do that. I just knew to, okay, I'm just going to go live. That's what I told you. Okay, I'm going live.
Turning to Shaniqua. Who's
yeah. So no, you don't want to know Shaniqua.
No, we want to know Shaniqua.
Yeah. Shaniqua's but no,
I don't think I've ever seen Shaniqua. Ever?
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I just knew how to do that. I knew how to press on. I knew how to, okay, this is an emergency. I'm just going to go ahead and, just pursue, just keep on and do it with ease. Look like I'm doing it with ease, but inside I'm like, whoo, okay. Second by second, we're going to, I'm going to do this, because that's what I'm accustomed to that. I shouldn't say accustomed to it. I was
maybe
conditioned. Yeah, that's better. It's almost like being in a military. When something happens, like immediately my military training kicks in. So it seemed like I just know what to do. It's like a second nature kind of thing. So with that fear, let's talk about what lies are that have been said or that are associated with fear.
Oh, as a woman?
As a woman.
You're not enough. You're not pretty. You're not slender enough. I had someone tell me my issue was a big deal to me, but it's really not a big deal, because you're of a certain age and you're supposed to have these issues. It's a big deal to you, but it's really not a big deal. I was like, what did you say?
Hold up. Yeah. Wait. Say that one more
time. I was told it's a big deal to you, but it's really not a big deal because you're of a certain.
Mm-hmm. What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm over 50 and menopausal, and the things that happen to a woman over 50 that's menopausal has happened, and the things I used to do to lose weight and trim down and all these other things. It's not that I can't do it. I don't have the energy to do it. It's a bizarre time. I'm just saying. It's just the truth. I'm tired most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm tired most of the time, and then don't sleep well. Because it's like a both ends. Because it's just
Yeah.
So to have somebody say that though could have torn down self-esteem if I allowed it to go in. Because it's like, oh well, there's nothing I can do about what's happening, so I'm just gonna let it go. Yeah, that's not true. What I started doing was taking more time. If I need a nap during the day, I take a nap. If I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I'll allow myself to feel it, and then I deal with each emotion. Right? So many of the lies are, you don't. It's not necessary to deal with that. I was even told I was a good Miss Goody Two Shoes because something affected me and I wanted to deal with it. Why? What would you? Nobody deals with that stuff. You're Miss Goody Two Shoes. Why is that not okay with you? Well, it's not okay. So if you internalize that stuff, some of it I did for a long time. And then something happened. I think I turned 48. Something happened. It's like, this isn't working for me. It's working for everybody else around me. It doesn't work for me. I'm just saying.
So I've heard, because I'm menopausal as well. I've heard that sometimes it lasts for 2 years, 3 years. Sometimes it lasts forever. And I know a good friend who's in her 60s, and she's still experiencing symptoms, and I'm like, I am not going to deal with night sweats until I'm. So I've heard that one doctor, because I'm looking up menopausal, what are the different things, that I can do. And there's so many things out there. You do this, do that. I'm like, oh my God. But there's one of them that said, just embrace it. I've never heard that before. I was like, that's a different concept.
We look at age as a disease you have to treat. I'm in healthcare. They look at age as a disease you have to treat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Think about it.
That you have to treat, did you say?
That you have to treat. Yes, like you have a
rather than embrace it.
Disease.
Wow. Rather than embrace it and be grateful that you are at that age,
Yeah.
Because,
yeah. So how does fear come into it? And I can see, because I have the menopausal gut.
Yeah, I got the gut.
They call it the hormonal gut.
The hormonal gut.
But then I'm doing, what Stefania has told me to do, because I kind of lost track. Stefania.
Uh-oh.
I know.
It's okay.
But I went back. I went back to it. And so when I went back to it, I started seeing, oh, it's going back. It's tightening up.
So it works.
It's tightening up. I can actually suck it in and look like I have abs. Yeah, but I'm back there now, and I'm drinking a lot more water. I went back to drinking water, doing, the leafy, vegetable, and all of those great foods that you had told me to do. I'm actually going back, and I find myself, getting that energy back, less night sweats. Less. So I'm not taking any more of those hormonal pills, supplementals, all of this. I don't do it anymore. My hair doesn't fall as, as rapid as it used to, because I went back to what you have actually taught me. Um, and I just watched a video this morning, actually, when I went live, and I was saying that I have a new coach, a fitness coach, and a beauty consultant, and I was like, wow, I'm starting to look at that again because of the change. Of course, life happens. A lot of things happen. But let's get back to the fear, um, the fear of the changes, or the shape, the face. What are the fears? What is there to fear?
Hmm. Well, for me, if I had been allowed to naturally uh, age, meaning if I was going to gain weight, then gain weight, or if that was a natural process, I don't think I would have so much, uh, I don't know, disconnect from it. But it wasn't. Um, you know my story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it wasn't a natural progression. And I don't think I would have gained because of, the way I was previously. I worked out 2 hours a day. I only ate green leafy vegetables, and, I had a whole lifestyle that supported where I was physically. So to not have that, it's not so much fear as it is a disconnect between what I see in the mirror and what I feel.
Mm.
That's a disconnect. Because I've always been a certain way, and now I'm not. But I still feel the same. But I don't see the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So there's a disconnect.
Yeah. Stefania, because you used to be a personal trainer, do you do the emotional mental training as well? Because I like what Rhonda said. There's a disconnect between what is physical and what I actually see in the mirror. Because sometimes when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh God. But then when I go to work and they'll say, God, Sanetta, you look so, slender. I'm like, what? I am not slender. So there's a disconnect. I like what you said. There is a disconnect as to what I see versus what I really, yeah.
Definitely. Well, you get that. And not only with people that are actually, have put on weight, you get the same with people that have actually lost weight, really slim. Even you get it in, people. I mean, when I used to train really hard with bodybuilders, people that used to compete and have to be on stage, and what looked to us magnificent, to them they still felt that they were not perfect or were way overweight. So it's all an illusion. It's that like Rhonda said, it's that disconnect of what you see. It's distorted.
So is it because of the lie that's been
Oh
told?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's because of the lie. If it was just a natural part of aging, where you just put on weight because your hormones decrease and you slow down and all of that, it would have been different than the way this happened. So I think it would have been different. I really don't know, because it wasn't different. So I don't know if it would have been or not.
Yeah, but at the same time, you still have control over that as to whether you want to, change that. If you say, look, well, I'm not happy with what I see, but I want to make some changes, there's nothing stopping you. You just have to have the willpower. You have to have that passion to, I mean, I know, Rhonda, you said you just don't have that desire anymore. You're just more tired, you're more this, you're more that. But, you know, if you put the intention out and you really want that, or anyone, if we all want that, we'll make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
We may not get to what we look like when we're in our 20s or 30s,
Mm-hmm.
but we can still have the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
In our 50s, in our 60s, or whatever age group.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I like what you said, Stefania, when you said, you know, you can achieve it, you know, because it depends on you see yourself where you want yourself. So I saw myself in the mirror and I was like, ooh, I don't like that. So I went on the scale and I was like, ooh, I don't like that.
Like that. And you did something about it, right? You did something about it.
Yes, I did. I did something about it.
Whereas if you were okay with that, you were really okay with that, there wouldn't be a problem.
No, it wouldn't, but I'm not okay with it.
Correct. Exactly.
So I went a step further. I started buying workout gear because then now I see it, you know, I was like, ooh, that looks cute. You know? So I got some workout gear and I love pockets. I don't know what it is with me and pockets. I am just obsessed with it.
They got to have pockets. Anything you buy has to have pockets.
Oh my God, I get ecstatic when a dress has a pocket. So my husband always finds these dresses that have pocket in it, and he'll say, "Look, there's a secret." And I was like, "Oh my God!" You know, I guess. So so when I bought the workout gear, it had pockets, and he was like, "What do you use pockets for? You're gonna be working out." I was like, "For my phone."
Yeah. On the side of my leg.
It's for my phone, so I can put it there and I can listen to music and I can listen to, you know, audios and different motivational or just listen to a book, an audiobook, you know, because I like to. I'm an avid learner. I love to learn. I'm just avid. So how do we overcome the I want to do this because I want to look like what I'm supposed to look like versus I'm going to do the changes because I want to look like this.
So what's the question? How do you overcome doing what you do for someone else or doing it for yourself?
Yes. How do you overcome that? Because before,
the image
yeah,
that you're trying to,
yeah, because before I used to do it
or retain or recover, maybe. I think it's more recover because it's almost sometimes I have a whole issue. Like I can go through my closet and the whole thing will be on the bed. Like I have nothing, like knowing full well I do. But it's not what I'm accustomed to seeing.
Mm.
So sometimes it'll be sweatpants and a t-shirt.
I love me my sweatpants and t-shirt. My husband calls it the Walmart attire. You know, at 2:00 in the morning, he calls it.
Right. More than that going on in Walmart at 2 in the morning.
The Walmart attire at 2:00 in the morning. They have their rollers in their hair.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then they're you know they are in their pajamas.
Really? They're out there shopping at Walmart like that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. That's why he calls it. Oh, you and your Walmart attire. Your 2:00 Walmart attire.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because
Comfortable.
it's comfortable. It's comfortable, but I don't go outside looking like that. I mean, I do have, like what you said, Rhonda. It's an image, um, because I I actually pride in myself, not because of what would they, how would they look at me? Because I look at those people like, did you even look in the mirror before you came out here? Um, but no, it's more like I want to present myself, and that's how I go out. But if at home, look, don't. I'll be in my Walmart attire. So how do you come out? How do you transition from that? How do you because I see a lot of videos on TikTok, I see a lot of videos on Instagram. This is who he left, and I made changes, so this is who I look. So I hold on, let me this is who he left because he didn't like the way I looked. This is how I look now to where he can't get me or something to that nature. Like
Yeah.
he's like she's now out of his league, kind of
Mhm.
change transformation. So that's subliminal. That's a subliminal message saying, okay, I was this, plain Jane. So now I'm gonna make this transformation so that you can see that. So it's not internal, it's external.
Yeah.
So how do you because these are the messages that people else are seeing. Young girls are looking at, and these are the lies.
And don't forget, they're all filtered photos. They're all been
That is
filtered
true.
and softened, and to the point some of them look like reptilian, don't they? Like, but that's the look now. If you don't look reptilian, you don't look hot. You don't look attractive. I don't know about you, but that's what I seem to think. That's how they're looking totally
Yeah,
transformed because of these filters. And I think it's actually worse because then when you do come on a normal camera, that's pretty shocking.
right.
That's more detrimental to your mental health than anything else,
Yeah,
because it has to have an effect on them, because then they can't actually go out in public. They can't actually go out and be themselves.
yeah. So how do you get to that? How do you because that's my passion. My passion is to be yourself,
Mhm.
to show up as what God gave you, pretty much. Because there's beauty in everything. Everything there's beauty.
Mhm.
Um, when the leaves are about to die, they look so beautiful.
Mm.
We admire it because they change colors. Actuality, you're looking at almost a dead tree, a dead leaf, in other words. But the change, the beauty of it, um, to see that,
It's beautiful.
and to but to be green all year round, and you're not an evergreen. you know what the heck is wrong with this tree? And then come to find out it's one of those fake trees for the cell phone tower.
Nice.
Oh, you're plastic. Ah, I see. No. But where do you how do we, as women, as sisters, um as coaches, or life coaches, or mentors, strategists, or whatever we want to call ourselves, a friend, how do we send out the message to be you, to stop listening to the lies, and go into the truth, because the truth is the only thing that can really set free, only thing that can eradicate any kind of lies, any kind of cultural, educational, spiritual, all of these other fakeness. How do we get there? What do we do? How just keep on talking about it until a viral comes out, a viral video comes out?
I think. Ron, did you want to go first on this? I know mine's very simple.
Yeah, you do. You start off what I do. So I have a son. I I literally am in the bathroom in the mirror, and I'm embracing my stretch marks from being pregnant. I'm embracing my menopausal belly, the different things that have stretched out that were not stretched before.
Things that have stretched out.
And then I look at my face. Like there's some smile lines mostly, but there are some worry lines in there. Embrace it. Like, I can even tell which lines were the worry lines. Really, I can tell. And it's just, I just go through and I say, okay, you're okay. And I tell myself, you're okay. And you don't have to do anything to be okay.
Mm.
Now, is this as far as weight and shape and all that, is this what you want? Is this where you want to be? Then if you're okay with it, then you're okay. If you want something else, then you do that. But I'm not doing it to be okay. I'm doing it because I'm already okay.
Mm.
Even with this disconnect in my head, I don't know where the thing is coming from because I keep talking to it. I'm like, what are you doing? You're okay. What are you doing? If I don't tell you, you wouldn't know the story. I don't tell you, right? So you're okay. So don't put all that extra on yourself. All this extra. You gotta perform. You gotta look a certain way. You gotta be a certain way. You gotta have this. I'm gonna be 52. And yes, I don't mind saying my age. I'm gonna be 52, and there's some things that's happened along this roller coaster. And no, it's not quite so rocky. Because part of the rockiness was I didn't accept myself. Like really, I didn't.
Girl, you look good for 52.
No, you look amazing. You look
You look
beautiful.
good for 52.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But it comes, you have to accept yourself. And if I do enhancements, it's because I want to do them. And they're not, extravagant stuff. Like I wear false eyelashes because I like them. Right? But they're not caterpillars. I like them.
And you do it for yourself too. You do it for yourself.
And I do it for myself.
Oh my God. You said they're not caterpillars.
I'm sorry. What did she say?
She said they're not caterpillars. She said she likes to wear false eyelashes, but they're not caterpillars. I just had an image because I know exactly what you're talking. Yes, I know. So what were you going to say, Stefania? You said yours was simple.
Authenticity. Just be authentic. Just go into your heart. I always say when you're just in doubt, just go into your heart and sit with it. Just really what's honest, what's real for you. And, just be okay with it. And when you can just really be okay with it, you can then step into your authenticity because it's coming from a place of love and you love yourself no matter what anyone else says, no matter what else anyone's opinion is of you.
Right.
If you've got a little bit of weight on, if you don't have a little bit of weight, whatever it is, if your boobs are sagged, your bum's drooping, it's okay. Because, let me tell you.
Everything's pointing south.
Let me tell you, I had a real weight problem years ago, 15 years ago. And when I had this weight problem, how my weight problem was really fixed, because I was probably an extra 8 kilos, 10 kilos more than what I am now. So I was big all around. I still have that hourglass. I'm lucky. I'm like my mum, big butt, booby. When I went to the Caribbean, I went and lived in the Caribbean. I think I told you this. That was part of the story you didn't know, Zanetta. But I lived in the Caribbean, in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, against those women, I was slim as. Some of those women were voluptuous, like really hourglass, with bigger booties, bigger boobs, and they walked around loving themselves. And that's where I learnt to love my size. Because I was amongst these women that not that I was comparing that I was smaller, but the way they loved themselves. And the sex appeal that just oozed off them. And the men they had chasing them. So it wasn't the size, it was their mental attitude, their love, their self-worth, their self-belief, their self-love, how they valued that being curvaceous was just the best thing. It's only society over, like if we look at the Renaissance years and even the artists that used to paint all these big, voluptuous women. And if you weren't that, you were not a woman. So what changed? Well, society, just the way the world's evolved and just changed. So we have been brainwashed to think that you have to be slim and that you have to be all this, or a coat hanger with clothes on.
I just had a vision of Carol Burnett with the cloak.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is so true. Even with men, they have the same issue.
Of course, just different. With the abs, they're all about, you got to be big, big arms and
with the abs.
With the abs, But then you got some men that say, you know what, I've got one ab, and they're just like, I love that one. Or their ab is reversed, it's inside out, But then they make jokes of it, and they're just walking around like they're just, excuse the expression, their shit doesn't stink because they're just they know who they are.
Yeah,
they
so
that's part of the lie, though.
Yeah, that's part of the lie.
And they're not buying into the lies. They're not buying into the lies. I think men handle that better than women. Us women, I think there's more pressure on us women with all that. We buy into the lies more. We have bought into the lies, I should say.
Well, because I think the reason why we bought into the lie is because we have been sandwiched with women and men alike telling us how we need to look like. With the men, they're just like, so basically, women, because women can be very cruel against other women.
Oh yeah.
Very cruel.
Cat fights.
I know I was one of them. I was one of them as a kid. But I have rectified that, actually. We're friends. So my classmate. But yeah, we women can be very cruel with other women. But yet give a pass to the man. And the same thing with the men. The men, when men get together, they're all, oh yeah, you're this, what, they don't ridicule each other.
No.
So with a woman, you have men and women ridiculing you. So I think I think that's where the lies actually sink in and becomes truth.
Mm,
And that's where it becomes dangerous, when the lie turns into truth.
exactly.
Oh,
So when
self-truth. Self-truth. I mean,
self-truth.
yeah, self-truth. It becomes self-truth. So I have to look like, 36, 24, 36, that hourglass. Or I have to have, the abs. I have to, have those perky, the pencil. You heard about the pencil test?
Uh-uh.
No?
No. What's the pencil test?
Well, let me do tell.
Do tell.
Let me do tell. So there's a pencil or a pen, it doesn't matter which one, and you put it under your breast. If it rolls down, then you're
Oh. That thing goes straight out.
Oh, okay. If it doesn't roll down, that means everything's gone south and it's hanging off.
yes, and if it rolls down, if it rolls off, then that means you're still pointing north. Everything looks good. But when it doesn't,
I never heard of that test.
oh yeah, it's a pencil or pen test. So,
Man, that's storage over
So
girl,
what test do men have? What's the men's tests? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sorry. I should
theirs are childish. Their tests are childish. Who can shoot the furthest.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certain things that and so we get those jobs, the lifting, the adding. I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine. I mean, go
Yeah.
ahead and do it. When the size 36 was given out, or the voluptuous was given out, I must have had the umbrella up or something, because I didn't sure did. I didn't get it. Or maybe I was in the house while it was being poured down. So I didn't get that. But so I do, like, sometimes I would say, hey, maybe I should. And then it clicks in me, like, oh God, no, I don't want that big thing.
Yeah.
I'm fine with mine. So yeah, it's you're bombarded left and right,
Yeah.
front and side, girlfriends, I mean, just certain societal, cultural beliefs that ha- are lies that turn into truth,
Mm,
internal truth.
mm. Mhm. And see, I'll tell you a quick story. This is really funny. I've never really told it on air, but one of my girlfriends, right? This is years ago. This is going back 20 years ago or more. She had her nose job. She had a nose done, right? But she had like a little bit, like it was kind of hooked, and the surgeon really gave her a nice nose. No, it was kind of like
Oh, pronounced. Oh, it was
yeah.
really pronounced, because mine I have a book actually.
And her nose was beautiful. She kind of like kneaded it down, and it really affected the way she was feeling and blah, blah, blah. So it worked out well. She was very, very happy and everything like that. And we used to hang out together, like we were really, really close. And she said to me, Stefania, I think you should have your nose done. She said to me, I've never, ever had a problem with my nose, right? It's kind of pointy, it's kind of Roman, but, I never had a problem with it. I listened to her, right? And I said, you think? She said, yeah, I think it's a bit too long. And I think if you just had it taken back a little bit, it would look better. So, silly me. Well, I'm glad I did it, because the result was this, and the story goes like this. So I went and saw a surgeon. I went and saw a plastic
Rhinoplasty.
surgeon. Yeah. And he says, what can I do for you? And I said, well, I kind of don't like my nose. I think it's too pointy. I think it should be a little bit shorter. And he looks at me and he says, are you for real? And I said, well, yeah, that's why I'm here. And he said, well, young lady, he says, there's nothing wrong with your nose. Absolutely nothing wrong with your nose. And I said, and here I am trying to convince him to do my nose, right? Because this is how I was like so insecure in myself that I had to listen to my girlfriend to tell me that I wasn't looking good with my nose, right? He said to me, I'm not going to do your nose. He says, if I do your nose, you will totally transform. And let me tell you, you won't like what you'll see. He says, if you want your nose done, he says, I could very well say, okay, I'll do it because I want your money. He goes, but I'm not doing your nose. You have to go somewhere else.
Wow.
And that was the best thing he said to me because he was honest. He really was honest. He was about improving people's looks, obviously. And he knew that if he was going to change my nose, it was going to totally change my whole look. And he studied my,
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, why am I telling this story? Because I was like so insecure in myself, obviously, didn't know who my own self and my own self, loving my own self-image, that I had to listen to someone else. That we can fall prey to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can. Unless you get someone that's really like this doctor, this surgeon, who just, sent me away and said, I could very well say, yes, give me your money, let's do it. He goes, but I'm not. He goes, so if you want your nose done, he goes, young lady, you'll have to go and find someone else.
Wow.
And he goes, let me tell you, he said, hang on. And then he said, he goes, just one more question. He goes, why? What makes you think you need your nose done? And I looked at him. He goes, he knew. He said, who planted that seed? That's what he said to me. And I said, well, he goes, was it a man? And I said, no, actually it wasn't. It was a female. It was my girlfriend. And he goes, He goes, you just go home and have a really good look at yourself and how pretty you are with that nose. And you love that nose. There is nothing wrong with your nose.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah. And I took off, paid him my fee consultation to have my butt kicked and go home and love your nose. And I did. It was the best, like $250 at the time that I spent for a consultation to tell me, go and love yourself.
Wow. That's it does. It really does. Because I know someone personally who had a rhinoplasty, and it did change his look, changed his it looks fake. I'm just gonna say,
Right.
it looks
I mean,
fake.
for some people, it actually does improve, and like it did for my girlfriend, at the time. Yeah. So anyway, that's the story. So people sometimes can say things because that's their impression. It's an external. We're always looking externally.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, Rhonda said it. Let's look inside. Let's go within. Let's start looking within and looking internally. So, yeah, that's my nose story.
Wow.
I love my Roman
Wow.
nose.
I love your nose. I love your nose. It was my very favorite singer, Barbara Streisand. And she had the same issue with the nose. But she kept
her nose because that was her look.
Yes.
And do you remember the girl from Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
Yes. She doesn't look the same.
No, and she lost all her work. Her stardom was in that Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
As soon as she had her nose done, she got no more parts, no more work, literally. And
Yeah.
she looked beautiful with that nose.
She looked perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. She looked perfect with that nose. You know, as perfect would be. It
Yeah.
looked perfect on her. It looked perfect on her. Just like this one girl, she said, "Well, I'm gonna, have braces and cover my gaps, put my gaps together." And I said, "No, that's your signature. That it looks so good on her. There's certain people that just looks good with gaps." I said that she looks so cute. I mean, I'm like, no, it looked so cute. So
My dad's yeah.
Yeah, but I said that's your signature. It's your look. That's what, and she kind of embraced it a little bit.
But then
But the other voice won. So I mean, so sometimes there are some women that do say certain things to make us, I guess, insecure.
yeah, that's what it was back then. But anyway, it's all good.
Yeah, make you insecure, make you feel
People say the
insignificant.
craziest things. Like they used to tell me I had chiclet teeth. Chiclets, the gum, chiclets. They say the craziest stuff. I had chiclets. They have big teeth, but they used to call them chiclets. I'm like, really?
Wow.
This crazy stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah.
We can
So
be cruel to each other, right? It's
yeah. And that's where, where this is, I want this this broadcast to be able to change that. That there are some women that would tell you, be who you are. You're beautiful with, size is another thing. Size is another, oh, you have to be a size 4, size 6, be happy with your size, whatever it is. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't, your size, your weight, your bank account, your education, it doesn't define who you are. It just enhances whatever, the personality that's it. And that's why I said in the beginning, not one time love has ever been talked about. It never comes out in the topic. They always talk about the looks external. Everything is external. So I just took a quick glance at the clock.
We've been talking for 2.5 hours.
2.5.
Has it been 2.5 hours?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Like one of our marathons, right?
Right. No, we're not gonna do that.
Well,
yeah, because menopausal. I'm actually surprised that I'm still up.
Yeah, I've been holding back a couple yawns because it's past my bedtime.
Is it the same time in Chicago? Is it 10:30?
No, she's 9. She's
9:20.
9:20. Yeah, she's at 9. She's an hour behind.
Behind.
Yeah. So, ladies, I really appreciate this time, and feel free to join whenever. I go live every Friday. I'm going live. Join in the conversation, and I know next week that we will have Anolia and Stefania. Seems like you're being a permanent fixture here, Stefania.
Wow. Who's coming? Daphne.
Anolia.
Oh, Enolia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Enolia and myself. Okay.
Yes.
You said there was a Daphne coming.
No, Stefania. Just Stefania.
We'll have Rhonda as well. Let's have Rhonda again too.
Oh. Yes.
Speaking
Get that mic fixed.
Let me put her on the spot. Because you know, when you put people on the spot in public and you have them volunteer, they really commit to it.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yes, it's called persuasion.
Gentle
There, right?
persuasion.
Yeah, so we will be back next week. We will be talking about the um the boundaries that we have set on ourselves and how do we take it off. We found out last week that we are going to it's the roles that we have that we need to strip, and I'm gonna say some stuff on next Friday. I was hoping I could say it, but you know what, I'm gonna wait till Friday for me to say it. And today, we talked about, the lies that we believe, that we make it truth internally. And so hopefully this broadcast really helps, those that have believed in certain lies, to take a good look at yourself and ask those questions. Is this somebody else's uh, um, uh, image of me, or is this somebody else's what they want me to be or who they want me to be, or is it me? um, do those hard questions. Ask yourself those questions. Is this what I really want, or is this who I really am? And do a deep dive within yourself, and join us with this conversation. I would like to have this as open conversation, as we're all women, but we have different ideas, we have different uh, 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 experiences that we can bring forth to the table and be able to become a help. And the vulnerability, is it. You can be vulnerable here, and it's a safe place. Uh, I'll tell you in a minute what I have a problem with. I'll tell you quickly that I have these issues because sometimes we have this persona that, oh, I got it all together, when in actuality we're still a work in progress.
Nothing's gone down. That's too funny. Don't worry about it. I'll just hide it. It's like having your bra fall off, isn't it?
Oh, that is so. See,
in the swimming pool, have you ever been in a swimming pool? And
Oh,
one of
yes.
those rides, and all of a sudden your top's gone.
Oh.
Sorry, that's too funny. It happened to me.
That's funny.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
But I was hanging on to it like this as I came down, so it kind of did come off, but I was hanging on to it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. So, ladies, I thank you. Thank you so much.
You.
For joining and just having this conversation that flowed every which way, but it's still about the lies that we kind of internalize and believe. Now that we've kind of delved a little bit and to really dig deep inside you, what is truth? What is truth? And is it truth? So until next time, I want to thank you too. I want to thank for those that join in, and for those that are going to watch in the replay, do comment, do chime in. And if you do want to come and be a part of the show, please let me know and I will send you the link. And until my cat is trying to attack me right now. So until next time, be safe, love, and hugs to both of you. And any last words?
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And it was great. It was a great conversation. Thank you, Rhonda. Nice meeting you. And I look forward to chatting with you more. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
See you till next week.